Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so you can check us out there. My name is Matt, and as always, I am being joined by my sister, Vetta.
Hello.
Hi. And on this episode, we are going to be reviewing the movie Can You Keep a Secret? Vetta,
Yes,
can you
I
keep a
can.
secret? Yes, you can. Of course you can. Um, Vetta, before we get started on this movie,
What are
I
you
need
drinking?
what was that?
What are you drinking?
Yeah, why don't you calm the fuck down? How about that?
I'm antsy.
What are you drinking? Go.
My drink is actually called Keep It a Secret.
Well, look at you, clever girl. Well, what's in it?
I just Googled it. So it's triple sec, a sparkling coconut water, lime juice, pineapple juice, and bitters.
Gotcha.
I added a little bit more of the triple sec because the first one I had, I was like,
triple sec. It's not triple sack.
Shut up. I've had a few. Okay. Why do you always make fun of me, asshole?
Because you don't know how the English language works.
I don't. I speak sarcasm and that's about it. And swear words.
It
Nothing
sounds
else.
Delicious though. Is it like a fruity drink?
The pineapple is I thought the coconut water would dominate it, but it's really the pineapple juice that does it.
Oh, that's nice.
And the bitters offsets the sweetness. So it's good.
Gotcha.
It goes down nice. Right
on. Yeah. Well, I'm drinking a Moscato. I was gonna get a blush, but I had the same problem of buying they didn't have any like blushes this time I went, and I was like, what is going on here? I've had enough of this nonsense with
You're
this.
Like, I can handle everything COVID has thrown at me, but you are affecting my liquor store. I have issues with you.
That's exactly how it is. I was like, I'll even take the box. They didn't even have the boxes. I was like, what is
not even a box?
No. And I was like,
what is this world coming to?
That's what I was like, what are we in Venezuela right now? What is going on here? I was like, I've had
at least have a Boone's Farm.
Exactly. Do they make a blush wine, the Boone's Farm? I don't know.
They stick to like fruity flavors like strawberry, peach, grape. I don't think they actually clarify it.
Right on. Yeah.
Blush or white or red.
Yeah. So I'm having issues, but anyways, drunk people problems. Anyways.
Right.
So all right. So let's get started on this review. So Vetta, going into this movie, what did you think before you watched the movie?
It looked like it would be fun, but now I know why they called it Can You Keep a Secret? It's called Can You Keep a Secret? Don't tell no one you actually spent time watching.
Right. Right on. And you know what gets me is I like Alexandria Daddario, that's how you say her now, and Tyler Hoechlin. And I didn't particularly hate either one of their characters, but I was just like, why do I hate this movie so much? I'm just like, whatever.
It was so predictable. And Emma was like an over the top character. Like everything about her was so crazy. Exaggerated.
Right on. I have okay. So before we get into our dislikes and likes, did you have a dislike and like?
I have a couple.
Yeah.
I
okay.
have mostly
Good.
stuff to say.
Good. Okay. Well, I will get into some stuff first, but the first thing, okay. So you know that first scene where she's like at that like old people cruise liner, which which I was fascinated by that. As soon as he pointed out that old people take the cruise, I was like,
that's on my likes on how he refers to his clients.
Yeah, I was all like, I kind of want to know more about that company. You know, it's very fascinating. I get fascinated by the dumbest stuff. But I was like, how did she not know
that they rebranded?
I go, okay. So after this, they're talking about the Panda Bites. And she's like, my grandfather's obsessed with Panda Bites.
That? I thought of that too.
And I'm all like, why didn't you market Panda Bites while you were there instead of the energy drink? Because we all know old people don't drink energy drinks. But why didn't you market
the minute he did the, have you seen our clientele, and did the head nod towards the poster, that's when she should have been like, my grandpa and his friends love the panda bites. How about we get those on your cruise?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was just like, yeah, I don't know. The second time watching it, I was just like, as soon as the panda bite meeting came up, I was like, she's all like, oh yeah, my grandpa's obsessed with them. And I'm all like,
he eats them
why didn't
3
you?
times a day.
Yeah. Well, I was like, well, you're putting it in that bowling, an ad in that bowling magazine. Why don't you talk to old people cruise liners some more? Anyway.
Well, she can't talk to them now because she like jerked off the can and
yeah. Okay. Also, okay, so when she gets on the plane, the lady, the stewardess that was listening to her call, which her call wasn't exactly depressing, in my opinion. She's just all
this scene's on my dislikes, number 1.
Oh, go ahead and then talk to me.
So she gets on the plane and the lady's like, oh, having a bad day. How about an upgrade to it? That's not how fucking upgrades work. Yeah. No flight attendant is that nice, especially nowadays. Nowadays, they're like, I can't upgrade you because I have to justify it to corporate and I can get written up. And if you're not a priority member or status member, you're not getting a fucking upgrade. This movie is bullshit.
Right.
Even pre-COVID in 2019, when this movie came out, you weren't getting upgraded like that. No way.
Yeah, for sure. No, as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, that's nonsense. That would not happen in real life. I was like, plus, I don't think this movie knows how planes work these days. No. they just filmed on a plane. That's all they did, which I'm not even 100% sure it wasn't just on set of somewhere. Like they built the inside of a plane.
It's the plane that like Instagram people rent for an hour to make it look like they're on a private jet.
Right on. And I love how when she got into her first class seat and the guy with the champagne came by and she's like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, this is my kind of girl right here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you can order something stronger. It's free up there.
Right. Except for when she put her feet on the back of that chair.
That was disgusting. I have that down as gross.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I wrote down too.
If you see online where the girls with long hair flip their hair over the seat, I'm like, look, people, when you're on a plane, you have your seat and the square footage surrounding your body. You don't get to invade the people next to you, in front of you, behind you. They paid for their space. Right. Stay the fuck out. That's expensive real estate.
Right. I'm all like, yeah, these people like that don't do anything about with somebody like that are nice. I'd be like so mean. I'd be like putting barbecue sauce on their toes and shit. I'd do everything mean. I would be like, no, you're in my space, fucker.
I was on a plane, side note. I was on a plane one time where a guy stuck his feet. I was in the window seat, stuck his foot up on my armrest. So I spilled my drink on it. Oops.
Right. Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry. I was trying to lower the window and I had a drink in my hand. Oops. My bad. Fucker.
Right.
And he was bitching to his wife the whole time. And I was like, you put your stinky ass foot next to me.
Right. Yeah. Like this is a plane ride. Everybody knows it's supposed to be uncomfortable. Fuck face.
Right. You take your shoes off in the car where the only people that have to smell your stinky ass feet are your wife and your kids.
Right. Yeah.
Ugh. It was so gross.
And then I wrote down, the next thing I wrote down was, I was like, the CEO is hot. Of course he is. Of course. And I was like, ugh. I was like, this is some 50 Shades of Gray bullshit where the billionaire is a hottie.
No CEO is ever unattractive.
Right.
In
exactly.
The real world.
It can't be some fat ball.
Gates.
Yeah, exactly. It can't be some.
What's the Amazon guy's name? Like
Bezos.
You know, the only reason he's getting any is because he's worth billions.
Oh, for sure. That woman. The rumor is around town that she wanted to upgrade, and so she just.
Can you blame her?
No.
I mean, he literally just paid like $140 million to have a bridge dismantled to fit his super yacht through it.
Yeah. No, I want to upgrade to Bezos.
Right? Can I get on that?
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Now I want to, I'm fast forwarding a little bit after the, because we can get, I have a lot more dislikes than likes, but I have thoughts before that. Okay. So you remember when she goes to Nick, or you can call him Nikki. When she's all like, can I have a part of your budget to put a coupon
Oh, no.
Bowling magazine.
We're backing up before that.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
We're going to Connor and his fucking
No,
pants.
I want to talk about Connor in depth in my dislikes.
Oh, okay. We'll come back. Then go
Connor
ahead
is his own section of this.
Okay. I have him as a section too.
Okay, good.
So
good,
I
good,
can
good.
wait with you. Go ahead and go on with Nikki.
Oh yeah, Connor. He's a dislike. Oh, he's a hard dislike. Okay.
So many issues.
So she goes to Nick and she's all like, "Give me a part of your budget to put in this coupon in this bowling magazine or whatnot." And then she's all like, "Okay, so here's my question for you. What do you think happened with Nick at Chuck's retirement party that he just handed over that money?" Because I'm all like, "Oh, Nick sucks some dick at a retirement party."
She opened the closet where the coats were and she saw Nick with his lips around somebody's dick.
That's exactly what I was like. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh, Nick is naughty. He's a naughty Nicky.
Yeah. or he was in the middle of a sandwich. Something in the closet with the coats happened to
No, it happened in the empty archive room.
Oh, he totally could have. Would they have the retirement party at the office or wouldn't it be more at like a bar? I don't know.
I mean, either way, that retirement, that office was pretty big.
Either way, she found him in a compromising position.
Oh yeah, she found him. Okay, so can
I ask you this? This is my next dislike. How much did you get fed up with how her character was just so over the top awkward?
Oh, I have thoughts on her. So Alexander, this isn't my and I'll just say it right now, but Alexandria Daddario and Tyler Hoechlin are very hot. They are very hot. I find both of them very attractive.
Except in this movie, her character didn't own a brush.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, when she's like, I'm not really ready and everything. And then she goes and she just puts on lip gloss. And she's like, I'm ready now. And I'm like, girl, you need to run a comb through your hair.
It's like your hair looked better up in the messy bun.
Yeah, you have things living. And they're like, and then later on when he's like, she likes to wear a flower in her hair. I was like, she should wear, detergent.
She should invest in some dry shampoo if she's not going to brush it and wash it.
Or I said detergent. I meant conditioner.
I know what
you don't put detergent in your gosh. Or go ahead, listeners, put detergent in your hair. I don't fucking care. It's not my hair. Also, okay, one thing I was getting so sick and tired about is hearing about dead Pete. I don't give a shit about Pete. Fuck Pete. Weed's brew or Pete's brew. Pete's wicked brew. Fuck Pete. Fuck you, Pete.
Pete's dead. Done. He's gone. Okay. So my likes as a character, I had two of my favorite characters were actually just like supporting roles. Like Sybil and Gemma were my favorites.
Well, I didn't have Sybil down, even though I do like Laverne Cox. I have to be honest with you. I don't think Laverne Cox did a good job in this movie, and I usually love her. I really do, but not in this movie.
But you didn't have, this movie didn't set the high bar here, buddy.
I guess so, but I mean, like literally, in all honesty, she was like a blip on my radar when it came to this movie. Although we need to talk about Gemma. Let's talk about Gemma real quick before we get to Connor. I want to just talk about Connor real quick, but I want to talk about Gemma. Hold on. I wrote it down later on in my notes, but give me 2 seconds and I'll find it. But Gemma was fantastic.
Fabulous. Why was there not more of Gemma?
And I know it was the bit where she was wearing a scantily clad outfit and then she was like, I'm going to go, have, heart surgery or whatever. Yeah. Whatever it was like the most innocent thing. And she was wearing like the most hookerish outfit. And that was her thing. And that was great. But I loved how she was like, you need revenge. And she was very up on the revenge. I was like, oh, Gemma, you were hurt. You were hurt.
My favorite was how she was like, you were just so close to being the perfect couple. And she's like, but I didn't love you. And she goes, that's not important.
And you were close to being the perfect couple.
She's like, my parents have been married for 35 years and my dad thinks my mom's a natural blonde and she's Asian.
Right. Yeah. No, that was okay. I wrote this. Yeah. No. And I also, so I wrote this down. I love how she's like, I hooked up with a guy from Tinder who was from TMZ or whatever. And then he walks in. That reporter, that tabloid reporter was gross. I was like, Gemma, you need to have higher standards because you're hot. And I love Kamiko Glenn, who plays Gemma, and she's hot. But the reporter was gross. I wouldn't have fucked him. But
maybe he was just a quick hookup. She just really needed some.
And that was what she picked.
Maybe
he looked like Bruce Valanche. Okay,
I don't disagree. I wouldn't do that. But maybe like that's her thing. Maybe that's her thing. Maybe she likes the bushy hair.
You look like a homeless Muppet. That's how he was gross. I was like, ew. I was like, she has lice and crabs.
How is he a TMZ reporter? Because have you ever watched the TMZ show? Everyone on that is like, they went to a casting agency and said, we need somebody as a background in journalism. They could have just taken one journalism class in college, but they need to be, at least a 7 to a 10.
Right. And they're all hot. Yeah, they're all hot. And they've all went to the gym and shit, like right then and there.
Oh, the gym is in that office. They don't have to go anywhere.
Right. Okay. I want to say the last thing for my likes and everything. And it's a character that was such a background character, and only on screen for 2 seconds, but I loved him. That club guy with the pickle. I was fast. I want his story. I want to know his story. He opened up that thing. I was all like, I'm loving everything going on here in this scene. I love when he spit the pickle out. I was like, you're wasting a good pickle. And then he's like, you want to drink, get rid of Farm Boy or whatever he says. And I was all like, I want to know his story. I really do. He was so great.
I have one more and it's her roommate, Lizzie.
You liked her?
No, I didn't like her. I liked that she wore a fucking Snuggie everywhere.
Oh, I wrote that down. It's gross. Snuggies are gross.
Gross, but it's funny as hell that she was living in that fucking thing.
You're right, because she brought it to the dance thing, the concert. That's so true. That's so. Calm down. I can't hear you. But you're so right. She brought that to the dance. She lived in the Snuggie. Continue your thought.
Just saying, and the dancing she wore it to the Snuggie to do her performance of the dancing lawyers and one judge.
Yeah. That's so true. I didn't even think about that. You're right. She lives in that fucking Snuggie. Snuggies are gross. Ugh, I'd never own a Snuggie. Okay, back to Emma. I did write down in my dislikes that her clothes are gross. I didn't like her clothing choices. Tyler Hoechlin may find that attractive, but I was like, put some effort at least in, like you said, in your hair. Her hair looked gross. Like, did she wash it at all? Like maybe a shower scene just to, put me at ease. I was
just like, could you just run a comb through it? Or maybe your fingers. Do that little thing.
Yeah.
Do that to fluff it up. Anything. Yeah. But everything she was doing, she was like flipping it over her face.
I was like,
pushing it down. I'm like, sweetie, that's not helping at
that's
all.
Just more grease on your face. Right? Like, we don't need that, and you don't touch your face, by the way. Ooh, one more thing I want to talk about that I forgot to say before we get into our dislikes.
Okay.
His web toe thing was gross. I was like, oh, that's a hard pass for me.
Feet are disgusting to begin with, but you add shit like that, and now I'm this is a deal breaker.
Yeah, your Loch Ness monster toe is gross. I'm not interested. It's fucking gross. As soon as they showed it on TV, I went, ooh. I was like, oh, hard pass. I would have dumped him. I don't care how rich he is.
I was like, girl, get dressed. Go home. Go home.
Yeah.
Go
like
home.
I was like, mm-mm. I was like, I can deal with like you missing a limb over your web toes. That's just fucking nasty. And I love how they're like, you can't make fun of that's a disability. I was like, well, I'd hard pass on that disability. Like, I'd rather have him have a cleft lip than the web toes. I was like seriously grossed out by it.
Nipple. Yeah. I can handle that.
I think I'm trying to think of something else that I would not handle over that.
Genital warts.
That's not a disability. That's just fucking gross. Why would you say that? That's a weird place to go to.
You said something of going. I can't handle feet.
I meant like disability. Like he had what's that called? Where you he had a club foot or some shit. Not herpes. Not an STD. You weirdo. Okay, let's go to our dislikes. I love how you're looking at me like I'm trying to think of something. Sorry, I don't have a list of disabilities at hand. Okay. For those who can't see us right now that are listening to our podcast, she looked at me all weird when I was trying to think of a disability. Anyways, what is the first thing? Sorry, on your dislike list? Go.
I didn't like the shit. I'm gonna forget her name now. The French girl.
Oh, okay. Let's just talk about her because I have her on my dislike list. Okay, her name is Artemis.
It was that Artemis. Thank you.
Artemis, which I wrote down. Okay, this was as soon as they wrote down, I wrote down Artemis. I was like, the person that named her had no faith in her future at all.
Whatsoever. And then the fact that she's pretending she's from France, I'm like, well, you are not helping.
2%. 2%. Yeah. And who wears a fucking beret unless you're a mime or you're in a play about France, there's no reason to wear a beret at all. At all. Even in France. Like, I'm sorry. Emily in Paris, she doesn't even get away with that shit. It was gross. 2%.
And the fact that she's all
bonjour, yeah.
And the guy's like, you're not French, you're from Philadelphia.
Right. And everything. Yeah. I hated her character. She was so obnoxious.
Yeah. When she's all, can you give me the Costco brochure?
Right.
I'd have been like, bitch, get it yourself.
Right. Hey, Vetta.
Yeah.
That's where my demons hide at the curtains call.
She works with bullies. There are a whole bunch of fucking jealous bullies.
Right. Yeah. As soon as she started singing, okay, I wrote that down. Hold on. Let me find it in my notes because I wrote it down and I was like, oh, her coworkers act like high school mean girls, and I'm all like, how immature are you fuckers? Like,
I'm skipping a little bit, but would you really be that crazy upset? Like that he was describing her in such a loving and caring way. Yeah, he was divulging some of her secrets, but were any of those secrets just devastating? There were no
it was a douche move a little bit, but yes. You're right. It's not like he was like she has her vibrator in her second drawer of her nightstand.
It wasn't a deal breaker. It was, I'm gonna milk it for a little bit to get some good shit out of him, but it wasn't a deal breaker.
Yeah. Like I think the most embarrassing thing, which I didn't even think it was that embarrassing, was that she had a My Little Pony bread spread, and I was like, oh, that's not even that big a deal. Like, I don't fucking care. Like,
see, and I thought it was the crying every time she hears a song because I'm like,
no,
really?
No. Some songs are sad.
Yeah,
or some songs remind you of some songs remind you of like a specific moment in time. Maybe her dog died of that from when that song was on, like right when that song came on. Maybe who knows? I don't know her story.
It was playing in the car that
right, exactly. I don't care about her story either. Okay, can we just now talk about our least favorite character? I think Connor.
Yes.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, first off, I wrote down Connor. I wrote down, what a fucking pussy boy and a soy boy. Like, so obnoxious. What's up with the not wearing pants thing?
Okay, first let's go back to his car. He drives a smart car.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that? Why do I only ever see men in smart cars? I have never in my life seen a woman in a smart car. And Connor is the smallest man I've ever seen in one. It seems like every time I see a smart car, a 6'5", 280-pound man gets out of it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I have zero answers to that question. I hated everything about Connor. Connor is my biggest nightmare of how to be a man. Like he's all like, what?
I said, was he a man though?
Yeah. Like, listen, I'm a very effeminate man, but he's all like, what did he say that really bothered me? I was like he was like, oh, if you spill coffee on the sheets, I'm gonna be really mad. And I'm like, oh, get the fuck over yourself. They're just sheets. But
the wearing a shirt and no pants.
No pants. What is that? I don't even do that.
Phase. That's what they called it. I'm like,
it did kind of bother me though that she had a problem with him like being pantsless in his own apartment. and everything. Like I was like, I mean, I don't walk around my house naked, but I do sometimes when the kids are asleep and shit. But I'm all like, if my wife judged me for that, I'd be like, don't judge me. This is my house. I pay for this place. Leave me alone.
But my thing is like, you judged him for going pantsless in his house. You're trying to get him to fuck you in the archives room. And can we talk about the places that he listed that he
oh my gosh, yes. Let's do this.
It wasn't like, oh well, because I don't know, like, have you ever belonged to a gym that has like a spa and a hot tub?
Yes.
And all the like old people go into the spa and the hot tub butt naked?
Yes. It's very uncomfortable.
So I thought that was what he was gonna say. But he was like yoga and
a very accepting yoga, Vetta.
Right.
A very accepting, non-judgmental yoga.
Right. But he had a couple others and I wrote them down, but I can't read my writing. But he had like 5 places.
Yeah, it was his apartment, his doctor's office, the gym. And then I thought it was only 4.
It could have been in the yoga studio. And I went, doesn't everybody technically go pantsless at the doctor's?
Oh, yeah, that didn't count. That didn't count.
Yeah. And I was like, and when he said the gym, I was kind of like, well, that's like things some people do. Like, I won't lie.
Not me.
One time I was in the hot tub at the gym. This old lady got into it. And that's when she was naked. And I was like, and I'm out.
Right. Yeah. No, I would never. My penis is too small. I'm too embarrassed to let people see it. It's 3.5 inches fully erect,
Very proud of myself. And I'm happy with the little cushion I've got in areas, but I'm not walking around places where other people could see it.
Right.
They may not want to see that.
Okay. And then
Connor and his pantless face needs to be over. He was taking that no shoes, no shirt, no service. Right. So he was going no pants.
Right on. And then I did write down, this is my last thing about Connor that I dislike, but it's overall is jazz. I do not like jazz. I hate jazz. And I want to tell a little story if I can. Waste 20-30 seconds of your time.
I'm listening. I'm all ears.
So the only jazz concert I ever went to was in college. And I went because I was like, you know what? I've never been to a jazz concert. Let's go do this. So I went, sat down. I was excited. They had drinks beforehand. So I was a little, buzzed or whatever. So I'm sitting there watching and everything. And they're tuning their instruments and everything. But then after like 45 minutes, I was like, are they ever going to stop tuning their instruments? No, the concert had started. I was like, this is bullshit. It's like, So
I like jazz when there's a nice sultry singer with it. I don't like scat calling or whatever.
I'm just about to say when they're scatting.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm like, dude, my kids could do that when they were 2. They're jazz singers now. No. Yeah,
no. Go ahead.
I just like a nice sultry voice. I'm not into the just instruments thing. I mean,
nope. I'm not interested in any of that shit.
That movie. Was your last thing, and that was your worst. My worst was when he's talking about both the elevator scenes with Connor were horrible, where he says they could be eunuchs and put their privates in a drawer till 5 p.m.
I have one more thing I forgot to mention, but keep talking. I'm listening.
Why would you say that? And then I thought,
right.
So that elevator scene wasn't embarrassing enough.
No.
They put Connor in the elevator again.
Oh, right on.
He asked her what he did wrong during, what did he call it?
He performs cunnilingus.
There you go. Thank you. And they're doing the motions of like the fingers between the tongue between the feet. And I'm like,
he's not learning there. He's not learning there. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or anything, but that's one of those things you got to be like doing it to like learn.
And you have to communicate. No one's learning that without you saying a little to the left, a little to the right. Could you add a little? I just want to say right now, do a little of that.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. But I just want to say right now, okay, so begonias, I don't like begonias anymore. I just want you to know, I didn't know what a begonia was and I had to look it up, but now I know what a begonia looks like. I hate begonias now because of Connor. Begonias are bullshit.
You're never going to look at a begonia the same.
Yeah.
Like your wife's going to bring home some and put them in a vase. You're just going to walk up, grab them and throw them in the garbage.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm like, begonias are not allowed in this house. So
she'll be like, it's my house too. Not where begonias are concerned.
Yeah, begonias are bullshit. Okay, so we kind of talked about this a little bit, but Vetta, can you keep a secret?
As long as you don't embarrass me. And
yeah, well, this asshole can't, okay? Because he just, I mean, like, granted, like you said before, it wasn't anything like crazy, like her social security number.
Well, but and he wasn't doing it vindictively. Like, he didn't go on there and it's like, I'm spilling all of her shit.
Yeah. She's like, I never want to see you or talk to you or taste you. Gemma,
yeah. I go, if he wouldn't have added, like, there were some things that if he would have eliminated, they wouldn't have figured out it was her.
Right. Yeah.
So I kind of go, he was dumb, but you know.
Yeah. And I love, okay. So then her roommate, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I wanted to tell you, I looked this up real quick because I didn't, I was all like, oh, hey, look at that. It popped up because I was looking this thing up on IMDb because I needed to know the name of the characters. Shit. Okay. The guy that was her roommate's dancing partner, that's Britney Spears. Yeah. Omar. That's Britney Spears, fiance or whatever. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, I didn't know that was him either, but now that you say that, I do think I just read an article that said that he was in a movie with Alexandria, and that would make sense, but I did not.
Yeah.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Yeah. Well, I think Britney Spears is hot, so I've always thought
she not been?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, even when you know what, I'm not gonna lie, even in her bald stage, I was like, she's kind of hot still.
Okay, let's be honest. Let's talk about the bald. Some girls can pull it off and they look good.
Yeah, I thought
a YouTube hairdresser, Brad, I think his name is Mondo's or Mondas or something like that. And some of my favorite videos is when he critiques girls shaving their heads. And I'm like, they look so good. But I wash my head and I feel around on it. And I'm like, no, I would not be good bald. That would just be awkward for everyone.
Yeah. You could be all about earrings if you ever think about that. One of those bald women that's all about earrings.
I would have to be all about the scarves to cover up my malformed head that's lumpy.
Well, I could be bald. Because I'm practically a girl. Anyways,
but
okay.
Britney pulled it off.
She did. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Okay. So back to her lawyer friend, because we went off on a tangent there. I wrote down. Okay, so her lawyer / roommate. Her dancing was not that good. I have to be honest with you.
Did she dance at all or just get carried around?
That's what I was going to say. She just jumped on that Britney Spears fiance and he just like twirled her around a little bit. And then I love how
it was very poor editing. There probably was some choreographed number and they just edited it really badly. So that tells me she was a really shitty dancer. And they're like, she can't get this. Just edit it. So he's always carrying her.
That's a good point.
I love when they said the judge is a great dancer and he's doing like the concert festival dance where he's like got the hand up in one leg and he's like jumping.
And he was wearing his judge's robe, and I'm like, why, and everything.
Maybe maybe he was dancing to the Law and Order. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, that'd be so good. No joke. That'd have been so good. I'd watch that. I would watch that. See, I love all the sub stuff, like the pickle door guy. I'm like, I would watch a little.
The Dancing with the Stars judges edition.
Yeah,
I would watch. And it had the little Law and Order thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I wrote down. Okay, after the concert, she said, "I had no idea you could dance," and I was like, "Well, she can't." She can't, sweetie. So that's why you had no idea.
She can move her arms and be carried.
Yeah, that's exactly what she did. Like she just folded herself over her shoulder and then he spun her around. I was like,
she did that weird little like love enduring being carried where she put her head in his shoulder and then she flailed her arms out and then back into his shoulder. And I'm like, what are you trying to show us what a flower looks like blossoming?
A begonia. A begonia.
Maybe that's why we don't like it, because Connor made us hate begonias and then she tried to show us one and we're like, fuck you. No, we don't like begonias.
Exactly. See, it's come full circle in this movie.
Right. It's all connected.
So
totally what the writers were going for.
One more question. So later on in the movie, Jack reveals that the reason that he is taking trips to Chicago is that he's been working to make sure that his goddaughter stays out of the spotlight and everything after Pete's death.
Daughter after Pete dies.
Yeah.
Because a handful of people are privileged and trusted enough
right.
to know she exists.
Right. My question for you is, when did you know it was a child? Because
like when he was doing the phone calls, the way he was talking.
Yes. You usually catch this shit right off the bat, and I don't, because I don't care enough. But as soon as that shit started, I was like, oh, it's a kid. It's a kid. I was like, it's that dead dude's kid. Everything.
Yeah, because I went,
of course she was
adopted.
That sounds
like a one-sided conversation I would have with my husband if I was calling him and he was on a work trip and one of my kids was like sick or something. That's what I was like, that's totally a kid thing going on.
Right on. I just like as soon as that happened, I was like, of course it's adopted kid, because you have to make Pete out to be a saint, even though we don't know barely anything about him. But that's all I got. That's all I got.
I just have I don't have anything else other than, excuse me, hold on.
It's fine.
A little
dead air is great.
Sorry. Why did they feel the need? Did you not know at the beginning of this movie, I made an estimate. I wrote at the top, it started on a plane, it's going to end on a plane.
Oh, right. I didn't, but that's so funny that you say that's funny that you say that.
Because I'm like, why? You couldn't have gotten to the airport like 20 minutes or 30 minutes before the 2-hour window and just waited at like baggage, where you check your bags or whatever, or at the security check line and had the conversation. Then you had to spend the $400 on the ticket to Chicago to say your piece.
Oh, I know, right? Who's got that kind of money? Like, listen, I'm poor, so I don't have any money. I would have been like, oh, he's going to Chicago. I'll text him. That's how I would have been like,
or just drive to the airport and pay the $5 for the short-term parking and stand at the front of the security line so you're catching him before he goes through security.
Jack, don't go.
or even then, I think you can pay, because I think you can do it with like unaccompanied minors. Like if you go to the airport with your kid and put them on a plane, you can pay like $40 or $50 to escort them to the gate. Buy that fucking ticket. Why did you actually get on the goddamn plane to go to Chicago?
Right.
It's cold in Chicago right now. I'm from Minnesota. Trust me, it's cold in Chicago this time of year. Depending on when, it can be cold there every time of year. But which real quick fun fact, did you know if you get to an airport and they overbook your flight, there's a thing called involuntary denied boarding. If they don't let you on your flight, that you can get paid 4 times the amount if the next flight is over 2 hours, and they have to pay you 4 times the amount of your flight. I was like, oh, I'm going to remember that next time I go. So one time my daughter and I were flying to Michigan, and we were on a flight, and they were like, the flight was overweight, like after they had added the baggage and with the people, they were like, so we need volunteers. And there was a flight leaving an hour later so we were flying into Kalamazoo, and the next flight leaving an hour later was flying into Grand Rapids, and mom and dad live like in between the two. So I was like, if you can get me on that flight, I'll switch. And they were like, sure. And we'll give you $1,400 for each ticket and 10,000 frequent flyer miles. And I was like, I didn't ask for that, but hell's yeah.
Yeah, hells to the
right.
I want to talk about one more scene and everything. Okay, so I like how Laverne Cox, Sybil, her character was all like, hey, what's his name, Nikki, did you put an coupon in a bowling magazine and everything? And he's all like, oh, yeah, it was a great opportunity and everything. And I love how she waited to the end to be all like, and I'm like, just say something now. But I love how she was like, never take somebody else's work and count it off as your own and everything. And I was like, yeah, fucker. I was like,
see, my favorite line that she had, because she said it multiple times every time Jack came into the room, was she would say, don't embarrass me, or don't fucking embarrass me.
Yeah. Also, but I just want to say something. Like, how did she not know that it wasn't Nick that said something about the panda bites? Because the whole movie, the only person that said anything about giving panda bites to old people was Emma. And now Nick comes up with a great idea to put a coupon in a bowling magazine. I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
Like a normal person would have been like, this doesn't sound right. What's happening?
Right. That's all I have.
Me too.
How does that go? Okay, cool. All right, well then let's move over to our our questions. And all right, so I'm gonna let you go first. What is your question?
So my question is what is your favorite movie where a couple meets on a plane?
All right, so I don't know if this, like, because they're not the main characters and they don't get together until the end credit scene.
Oh, we must have the same movie. I
wrote down Bridesmaids.
Yeah. Where are you hiding the gun?
Where are you hiding the gun? She puts her leg up on the thing and she's all like, check that out. And
he's like, I'm not a marshal. You really need to leave me alone.
Yeah. I love that movie. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh no, I love that couple. And that's a real couple in real life.
They're married in real life. They wrote a movie that they wrote that Thunder Force together, didn't they?
Yeah, they write all those movies, all the bad ones that she does, they write together.
They should stop that.
They should stop that. Like, don't get me wrong.
I feel like that's like couples therapy for them. They should stop it. Go see a real therapist.
Yeah, it's like those directors that have their wives as their producers. I'm like, sometimes directors need to be told no. And maybe
sometimes you should tell your wife, no, you can't be in my movie, even if it's an extra. You just don't work.
Yeah, maybe Melissa McCarthy should tell her husband no, or he should tell her no, because they write and direct those and she acts in them and he's, a small bit in them. So I'm just like, maybe you guys should just tell each other no every now and then. Right, I mean, don't get me right. Bridesmaid was great, but I don't think she wrote that. So
I don't think so either. But yeah, that was a gem.
It was, yes. I love their plain romance. They're plain, and then being a marshal.
Everything. And I love how she's like a super high tech government security person, and he's an air marshal. I'm like, why are you harassing him? Why don't you just Google him on your work computer when you get home? Like the next time you're at work.
Right on. Yeah. Okay. So
so what's your question?
Okay. So my question for you is, what is your favorite rom-com where the main couple break up and then end up together in the end, which is every rom-com. So what's your favorite rom-com?
So mine is Notting Hill.
Oh, I love Notting Hill.
Love it so much. I mean, all the couples in it, are really great. I love it. I love it so much.
Where I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy, telling them how I feel.
Yeah. Or my favorite one is when the sister with the feather like hair is all, so I have something to say. I've decided I'm going to get married. I've met this really great bloke and he's nice to me and he cares for me and we're really in love. And then she turns to the guy and goes, just in case you didn't know, it's you.
Oh, right on. Yeah, no.
To Spike, who in the beginning of the movie was wearing the shirt that said you're beautiful. And then on the back it said, do you fancy a fuck?
That's so funny. Yeah, no, I love that movie.
So what did you pick?
My movie is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I love this movie so much. Yeah, it's so good. I love my favorite line is so stupid because it's like so short, but when they leave the Celine Dion concert and she gets in the taxi and she's like, see you later, and she says it so cute, and I'm like, look at you little cutie patootie.
absolutely love when she comes in with the dog who's wearing the sweater that matches her purse.
Oh, and he's wearing the frosting.
Yes, I love that. And the fact that she gives him the whole, she's like, oh, he's wearing a little frost.
Yeah, right. And they're like a little cute plaid family.
And he opens the door and is like, New York, frost yourself. And they're like, go fuck yourself.
Right. And he's like, it's a Dijon crusted. Duh. Yeah, no, I love that movie.
And the fern, when she comes into the poker party and their love fern's dead.
Right. And she's like, you killed her. What did she say? You killed our fern. Oh no, you let our
love
fern. Yeah, you let our love fern die. Do you want our love to die? And
his friends are like, couples therapy, and she's got someone that's like, I got someone who can do wonders with you. And it's her friend.
Right.
And they're just taking his money.
Right on. I love
that movie.
Right. Yeah, I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
All right, you little cutie patootie. All right, we are going to wrap this thing up, you guys. We just want to say thank you so much for listening to us. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, and you can find us at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated on all of our stuff. We'll also be posting the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube at BS Drunk Movie Reviews. And don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.
Bye.